Sign up for Crypto University today. Go to cryptouniversity.co.za.
Chillers, welcome back to Friday edition of Podcast and Chill with Coach Leo. Guys, this is the platform where we buy from your business, we promote your business, we tell your stories, and most importantly, we partner with you. Today, we've got a special guest who took up the responsibility to build remarkable businesses on his own. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you very much, Coach Leo.
Yeah, man, it's been long, eh?
It's
been a long journey.
Yeah.
Do you still remember where we met?
We met in Durban. It was Blue Waters Hotel.
I can't remember.
Yes, it was Blue Waters Hotel Gala Dinner that you had organized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Some hotel by the beachfront. Ne?
Yes.
Okay. And and ever since you've been going until today, I see your business is still thriving and standing.
I think I had to choose.
Yeah.
Do I back down or do I continue on this journey? Because as an entrepreneur in the South African ecosystem, it can be difficult to start.
Yeah.
And it's hard to also find support that can enable you to move forward. So when I met you, it gave me hope that, hey, there's a business coach that I can count on. And we started engaging more from that day. There was a lot of people, I believe some people didn't get in touch with you beyond that point. But for me, I saw value in how we can partner in the future, where you help me traverse this journey, knowing that there is someone who has a bird's eye view of my goal and what I want to achieve.
Yeah. Businesses thrive when they are based on one's values.
Yes.
And values, I'm not talking about the values that are on Vision Mission.
Yes.
The document that everybody likes that does not always really represent your thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm talking about things that you value, alignment to your personal values.
Yes.
What really got you to start this kind of business?
It's the story of my dad, who used to work for Eskom, and he was retrenched after working there for about 20 years, if not more. And I discovered that, someone can decide to end your journey.
Yeah.
When you've reached your comfort, thinking, I'm working for the biggest company in the country. It's not going anywhere. It's only me who can retire in this company. So that dream, when his dream was crushed like that, I think I made an early decision to say, I don't want to be in a position where someone dictates my trajectory. And I started seeking. I didn't have the know-how and all of those things, but my values were established to say, I'm a creator by nature. So after his retrenchment, we had to move to the rural areas.
Okay.
So when we got to the villages, I started learning new skills about how to survive, because we'll go miles and miles or kilometers looking for livestock that is missing, going out there to get the fruits, the wild fruits. And swimming, in the dams and rivers. It was an adventurous experience for me. I forgot about the township and suburb life that we used to live as
adjustment.
So adapting.
Sure.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
Recently I discovered that there is adaptation quotient. So there is AQ. And I realized
I've never heard of that.
I've had this thing, because I think my tenacity and ability to adapt has really helped me survive in this journey, because it's hard.
Absolutely. So you learned from that.
From that.
And you thought, you know what? Business is the way to go. I have to own my craft.
You know, at that time, I did not think business is the way to go. But I knew in the back of my head that whatever I'm doing must somehow lead me to that freedom of owning my journey, you know, defining my destiny, you know, without having to rely on other systems that are familiar to say, go to school, get a job, then that's it, get married and retire.
And at that point, what were you envisioning? What were you seeing as your future? What is this great picture that you were walking towards?
You know, my dad taught me one thing very well.
Yeah.
How to pray.
Wow.
We used to pray every evening outside our home. Eskuqweni, we call it eskuq. I don't know what would you call it in English.
Well, let's just carry on.
Then I started building a mantra.
Yeah.
You know, that says, God, I pray that I have a brighter future.
Absolutely.
I had no clue how does a brighter future look
like.
In
form or shape.
But as long as I end up in a brighter future, because I trusted God can help me navigate to that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the know-how. I didn't have the network. I didn't have the influence, you know. But already in my family, my granddad was a farmer and a business owner.
Yeah.
He owned multiple tuck shops in town and also in the villages. And later on, when I started tapping into business, going on my own, leaving the advertising agency space, saying, our people are getting into business. They are struggling, crafting a message that says, what is it that they solve in society?
Yeah.
You know? That is how Imbasa 10X was born.
Wow.
To say, how do we help these people refine the message? Because you can be good at what you do, but now can you articulate it to someone who needs your kind of help, your kind of assistance, to see we align, you know, because it's like your Google search. What you search is what you're going to get.
Absolutely.
But now, if your story does not align with my search, I'm seeking for help.
Profound.
There you are. How do we connect the dots?
Wow.
So that we can be discoverable.
And what sort of learning did you go through to support those dreams and all these puzzles? Because I'm hearing a whole lot of puzzles that you needed to put together.
You know, I learned somewhere that participation will bring you closer to opportunities. And I began participating in community where I lived. My dad then invited me to live with him in Durban. And when I got to Durban, it was a township in Manzimtoti.
Yeah.
And I discovered there was a lot of issues happening there, drugs, HIV. It was at the peak of the HIV, I think around 2003.
Yeah.
You know, young people were getting into drugs. There was a lot of destruction.
Yeah.
So I came into that community at that time, and the likes of, what do you call the ground breakers from Love Life.
Okay.
You know, there were programs like that.
Yes,
you know, there were a lot of interesting programs for young people.
Yeah.
I started participating in that. I joined an organization called YMCA. Where I was doing drama. I mean, I couldn't even speak English at that time.
But you immersed yourself.
Because, I mean, I was coming from a rural background. You know, I didn't have the privilege of the schools that can teach me the language. So when I got there, all I had was the ambition to learn. And I was able to demonstrate my talent in telling stories. Then I was invited to a cast that was part of the Love Life program. Then my English just improved because I was doing speech and drama, you know, but live, you know. Yeah. And I produced a lot of short stories that moved people. I mean, even the people from Love Life, AIDS Foundation, whatever. I ended up playing in that space, and my language improved over time.
Yeah.
After that, international opportunities.
Wow.
I started traveling. I've traveled more than 36 countries without paying a single cent, just because of the value.
And what kind of experience did you get from all these countries, all this travel? If you can single out 1, 2, 3 things at the core that you've learned.
It was culture.
Culture?
You know, everywhere I went, there was a culture that I was introduced to. And I met other people who were cultured from first world countries. I mean, my first international experience was in Australia, where I met the Aboriginals. You know, I worked with young people from the Aboriginal community, you know, and that just like taught me that, you know what, we as the people, we have something common. It doesn't matter what corner of the world.
And how much of that do you apply in your business?
Well, I mean, my business, building a brand is all about building a culture.
Sure.
You tap into human behavior. You create a system to make sure that it becomes repetitive. You know, if you look at people who smoke cigarette and who drink beer and wine, they do it repetitively. So is coffee.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a behavioral product. There's a culture built around it.
So branding is bigger than the logo and the slogans and the design. So it's personal as well.
Those are just tools.
Wow.
You need to have a strategy that informs your message to say, who are we? And what are we trying to solve in the marketplace?
Yeah.
And what do we need to support our promise? Because people come up with slogans. They'll say, we'll do it better. You know, that's a big promise.
Absolutely.
That you make to the market. Or they will say, personalized service.
Yeah.
How do you support that statement, that claim? You need systems. You need a strategy so that you can be able to do it more often, better.
So here's a chiller listening to you right now.
Yeah.
And they are running a business. They don't know what kind of help they need, but they want to grow this business and they're still stuck somewhere. How does your business help them, and what kind of services do you offer so that there is some alignment to the market?
So basically, we have to understand what problem does your business have.
Yeah.
We can find that you are already in the market. You are struggling with sales.
Yeah.
Then there will be a solution that will be tailor-made to helping you solve the problem around sales.
Is it digital or is it integrated in some way?
It's a holistic view to the problem.
Okay.
Because we need to study the problem first and understand what are your low-hanging fruits, where are your opportunities. I mean, we were talking with the other guy in the lounge about his water business.
Absolutely.
To say, if you try to push a new brand in the market, you may have a lot of pushback. If you have a better product, you can partner with people who are already in the market, because that increases your chance of getting volumes you need so that you can be cash liquid. When you are cash liquid, you can now consult someone like me to say, how do I solve my branding problem in the market? So
it's business modeling.
It's business modeling. Everything you can solve with a business model.
All right. Okay, and then your services. So basically your key services here.
Yes, our services is we help you have a better understanding of your opportunity in the market.
Yeah.
We help you understand your problem.
Okay.
Then we help you solve your problem.
Yeah.
Let's say we realize that your identity is clashing with the needs of the market. Let's say your messaging is you have too many messages in such a way that it confuses consumers.
Yeah.
So we streamline your messaging. We craft your messaging. We need copywriters, to work with us in terms of crafting this message so that it hits at the core of the pain point of the consumer that is looking for your solution, which should be a painkiller.
And in one or two words, what do you call that?
So it's brand building.
Brand building.
So that's
you are
the
in
main
the business of brand building.
Yes.
Right.
So if it has to be identity, will help you develop a corporate identity that speaks to what you are trying to solve, that speaks to the values of your consumers in the market.
Yeah.
Then if we realize that no, you need to create digital touch points or an omni-channel. So an omni-channel, it's your touch points. So we say you need to develop a website. So when we develop a website for you, we have a strategy behind that.
Yeah.
It's not just a pretty website with pictures and whatever. We have user experience design.
Okay.
We develop the user experience so that when people come to your website, the purchasing process must be easy.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to create a problem.
With call to action.
Your call to action must be on point so that you don't lose customers that may come through that touch point and find that no, it's not working.
So it's some sort of funneling.
Yes.
And being specific on what needs to happen.
Yes.
Not confusing the market.
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic, man. Anything else that you'd like to say to the chillers out there?
Well, chillers, there is a lot of opportunities in the market to build businesses, build business systems around those opportunities that you foresee in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So Imbasa 10X can really help you craft the messaging that talks to your consumers. And that shows that you care and you understand what is their pain point.
Yeah. So how do chillers get hold of you?
So basically, you can get in touch with me via Instagram.
Okay.
Skhumbuzo 2063.
Skhumbuzo 2063.
Or you can find me in Rosebank 173 Oxford. Rosebank link at BeWork. Or you can get in touch with me via an email, skhumbuzo@imbasa.net.
Skhumbuzo is SKH or SKU?
SKHU.
Okay,
MBUZO.
Lovely.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, man, for hanging with me.
You're welcome, sir.
And for sharing those insights with the chillers. I think they're going to go a long way in helping all of us build our businesses. And you will be contacted.
Thank you.
Chillers, thank you so much for joining us today once again. Please go out there and digitize your business. Learn from others. Build systems. Model your business for success. And Imbasa 10X is here to help you with that. And it's Coach Leo signing out from Riverville Hotel in Johannesburg. See you next time.
Sign up for Crypto University today. Go to cryptouniversity.co.za.